Let's jump to this next story, man. From tvline.com, Emmys hits all-time audience low.
Good.
Wow.
Good.
The end is nigh.
Did you watch it?
I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I watched it.
For those of you that are listening right now, send in your chats and super chats. Did you know the Emmys even happened?
Like one or...
I did not know. I had no clue.
And it was not in anyone's feeds. I mean, you would see
Nobody was
typically see
tweeting
the
about
clips.
it.
Nobody was tweeting about it. I watched it because I feel like I have to watch those kinds of things. It was...
I'm sorry you had to do that.
Sorry.
There was a moment where I told my wife, Adriana, I'm like, we can't do this. She goes, no, we got to keep watching. We got to keep watching. It was a cringe fest. Just one thing after the other. It's so infused into and saturated. It's just saturated into everything that they do. The awards they give, the shows they give, shows that should have easily won were lost out to the most woke show. I mean, it's just. I think it's just part of that. The reason why those ratings are so low. That's why we have such a great opportunity right now.
Well, I kind of think that the system is collapsing, and it's more apparent to me than I think to the average person for a few reasons. I don't know if it's going to recover. So we got a bunch of Times Square billboards. We did this over the summer. We went nuts. We had like 25 ads just like dominating the space. It was awesome. And a lot of people were like, that's crazy. How could you afford that? And then I'm just like, bro, it costs $20 to run an ad in Times Square. One time. Yeah, so like, and you can get even cheaper. There's some smaller ads, like still big screens, like $7. And they'll say like you got to buy at least 20 of them or whatever. So it's a couple $100 and then it'll run for the day. That's a lot cheaper than people realize. And the reason, it's done. Like the foot traffic is down. There's no impact anymore. There's no cultural references. There's no cultural cohesion. So even having the ads doesn't do anything. It's just a statement being made. And I thought about it. I'm like, here we are. We did it. We're here in the center of American culture. And we made our point. But we were only able to because the system has decayed to the point where it used to be that there were so many big companies with tens of millions of dollars that they were all competing for these spaces. The prices were super high. Now, nobody wants them. Now they're like some of the billboards in there are turned off. Off.
Interesting.
And I'm like, hey, that one that's off, can I get that one? We ended up getting the entire billboard to ourselves. Wow. So we also ended up hitting number 2 on Billboard digital sales. And you know what? We sold 12,520 songs in 1 week. That's number 2. 12,000.
Interesting.
That's it.
Interesting.
It used to be 100, 200, 500,000 sold. Now, I get it. We're in a different kind of economy with streaming music. But it's not just about, nobody's encouraging. I mean, you can check this up to the rental economy and you will own nothing and you'll be happy. But my point is, we are able to stand atop the ruins. We're able to be like, look how well we're doing, only because the system has collapsed. Like if we had a show this big 10 years ago, we would not be getting top, singles and music or Times Square. But because the system has just broken down and fallen apart, we can climb on the rubble and be like, I am king of the rubble. And everyone's like, yeah. And then we're like, ha ha.
I would have thought those would have gone for tens of thousands of dollars that you could not get out of an ad for less than $100,000 for something like that.
Well, so like if you want to get the big tower, they do it on like a week by week basis and it's like $600,000 per week. But most of the billboards, they're big, but they're not that big. It's like you can have a run all day for a couple grand and you can actually schedule like 20 ad placements to span over one day over, they'll play like once every other minute for a few hours and it'll cost you $200. It's just that the demand is gone. Not only that, but like small businesses have been wiped out, so ad revenue is collapsing. I look at the Emmys and it's like American culture is being erased. These things that we used to all be interested in and talk about, just gone. And without that, what happens? You end up, I'll just say, in a big leap, civil war. Because when you have completely disparate cultures that don't like each other, that don't care about each other, and aren't concerned about offending each other, they can say whatever they want about each other. It used to be that you were like, okay, I better not say that, what's the famous apocryphal quote from Michael Jordan? Conservatives buy shoes too, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't you get conservatives buy shoes too, man? Nowadays, it's like, I don't want their money anyway, so I'll rag on them, and hopefully that'll make more of the woke left buy my stuff, or the inverse. Now you've got Democrats and Republicans refusing to debate each other. You've got Katie Hobbs. She won't debate Carrie Lake. But you got, who is it? Herschel Walker, is that his name? He's not going to debate
Warnock.
Warnock, there you go. And so the reality is, what's to be gained? The hyperpolarization is so intense, you only face risk by actually coming together. So a Republican's going to come out and be like, I'm not going to get any of these Democrat votes. Why bother talking to them? And the Democrats going to be like, I'm not going to get a Republican vote. Why bother talking to them? Because it's not even about the policy. It's about Democrats are bad or Republicans are bad. In which case, it is what it is. The chips have fallen where they're going to fall. Let's see who wins the election.